Diddy raging over last week's Tootsie Roll reveal. His what?
He's a complete control freak. And in a sick, perverse way, I think he's secretly enjoying that we're all talking about Diddy.
People keep asking the wrong questions about Cassie Ventura and Sean Combs, aka Diddy's other sex trafficking victims. Everybody says, why did she stay? Instead of why did he beat her? Why did he continue to make her participate in freak-offs over her objections? But now we see a very, very successful musical artist thrown in the mix and corroborating what we know to be true according to the state. It's Kid Cudi. Who is Kid Cudi?
Scott Cudi, a.k.a. Kid Cudi, is signed to Kanye West's label, Good Music, in late 2008 after his song Day and Night gains popularity on MySpace. Cudi's debut album, Man on the Moon, The End of the Day, shoots the rapper to fame, going quadruple platinum with additional singles Make Her Say and Pursuit of Happiness. Cudi also dabbles in film and television, guest starring in several projects, performing music in others, and starring in a few feature films, Need for Speed and Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Straight out to renowned psychoanalyst joining us out of LA is Dr. Bethany Marshall. She's the author of Deal Breakers. You can see her now on Peacock. And she's at drbethanymarshall.com. Dr. Bethany, I'm sure I don't have to jog your memory with this, but we've all seen the videos of room cleaners. I'm going to circle back to the disgusting day after freak-off that Diddy paid to have cleaned up. My point is, he always has somebody else do his dirty work. So I just heard Lauren Conlon, still there, standing by at the courthouse, say, wow, Brian Steele, who's a very good lawyer, I think, really got a lot out of Kid Cudi on cross. That there was no fingerprint left behind by Sean Combs or Sean Combs' DNA. Really? It's just like Sean Combs going to go fill up at Valero and trot over there and make a Molotov and a Coke bottle and throw it himself. Yeah, that's not going to happen. He has his minions do everything. And I've got example after example after example. So if he could make a grown man throw a Molotov, right? Make a grown man go buy drugs for him. Make a grown man clean up his baby oil and you don't think he can make Cassie Ventura perform sex acts with a male sex worker on video? Really?
Mm-hmm. Of course, Nancy. And all that trashed furniture, broken furniture, baby oil slick, as you called it, all over the place. He did that to people too. Okay. He trashed them as well. The executive assistant got on the stand and when the attorney cross-examined and said, well, why didn't you just get the hotel staff to clean up the room? He said because he was trying to protect Diddy's image. He knew that Diddy was menacing, threatening, intimidating, and that if he did not protect his boss, he would be in trouble too. That's why all of these guys are nodding at P. Diddy on the stand. They are terrified of him. So of course, Cassie Ventura is going to have sex with somebody at Sean Diddy's direction. She is
you know what,
under
Dr.
his
Bethany,
complete
you
control.
just said something that actually turned my stomach. And it's this. I put so many victims, sex trafficking victims, ag assault victims on the stand. And when they come into the courtroom, most of them don't even want to look at the perpetrator. They don't even want to look at them again. And the few that summon up the courage to look at the man that raped them, that them, they look almost meek and mild. I've seen them kind of acknowledge, not necessarily nod, but acknowledge the, like, they meet eyes and they really don't know how to act. So I am not impressed at all by anyone that comes in the courtroom and nods at Diddy. That means nothing to me. And to Tom Smith joining me, former NYPD detective, 30 years, narcotics, robbery, gang, And that's what I'm interested in right now, Tom Smith. And he is the star of the GoldShieldShow.com. Tom, thank you for being with us. Right before I left the DA's office to go to Court TV, a case I was working on was going to be a death penalty case where two little infants, babies still in their layettes, right, newborns, as I recall, they were baby girls, were with their mom in a 2-story apartment, and it was a gang war. And the women in one gang had gotten into an argument with the women in the other gang, whatever, over some clothes. So the gang members show up, they make a Molotov, and as they throw it into the upstairs window where the two infants, newborns, are laying, they say, quote, "Let's fry them babies." Fry them, as in hot oil, fry them. And they set the place on fire, and the babies were burned alive. They did not die of smoke inhalation. Their short time on this earth ended when they were burned alive. I had created a specialty of arson investigations. And can I tell you, there's nothing worse than what happens to a burn victim. I mean, the deadly use of fire and a very uncontrollable device such as a Molotov. He needs to go under the jail if he ordered this thing. Explain what is a Molotov and why is it so unpredictable?
Well, a Molotov cocktail is a bottle that's made with gasoline in it with a rag on it that's lit on fire and thrown. And the destructive part of it, like you described, Nancy, is once it shatters, those flames go everywhere. It is a broad area that is covered by this Molotov cocktail that can ignite anything in its path. And that's why they're so dangerous. And it doesn't surprise me with this that Sean would have had a part in this, because that's what criminal enterprise bosses do. They order their little minions to do what they want, and they do them. And why is it? Because of intimidation, because of a power need. That's what's going on here. And that's what this whole RICO case is about. Sean Combs running this organization and putting acts like this into motion to intimidate anyone involved with another group or his group to make sure they stay in line.
Well, you read my mind. That's my next point of legal discussion. And that is how Kid Cudi, who, according to Lauren Conlon, I have no reason to doubt her, was very affable and likable, very even keeled on the stand. That's good, because that makes the jury believe him and like him. If someone is irritating or just, agonizing to listen to, the jury tunes out. But Cudi was a great witness for the state. But DeTroy Slayton joining me, renowned criminal defense attorney, very wily, joining me out of LA at Slayton Lawyers. Troy Slayton, don't you just love it when your client, your defendant, your criminal defendant is also clairvoyant? Because you remember, of course, Scott Peterson said, this is going to be my first Christmas without my wife. She died. I'm a widower. And bam, 2 weeks later, she was dead. And he was a widower. And then let's see, O.J. Simpson, Orenthal James Simpson, that's a great example. He had a dream where he murdered Nicole Brown, a clairvoyant dream. And here it is again. Sean Combs says 30 days before, I'm going to blow up Cudi's car, his Porsche. It's gone. And believe it or not, just a few short days later, Kid Cudi's car blows up by Molotov.
Well, Nancy, prosecutors didn't charge him with using a Molotov cocktail, using a destructive device. And the statute of limitations on that would have run out in like 2015, because this allegedly happened in 2010, 2011. All the statutes of limitation would have run out.
Put him up. In the 5-count indictment, prosecutors state, quote, Combs quote, relied on employees, resources, influence of a multifaceted business empire he controlled, and attempted to engage in, among so many others, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson. Put him
Yeah.
up.
So those
Arson.
are the
So,
those are the
yes, it is part of the indictment. So,
are,
Jurassic erase. You want to start over? You want a little do-over? Because he is charged with that.
they're alleging that, and
What?
prosecutors way overcharge this case, and that's why his lawyers are confident that the government is going to lose in this case, because for racketeering, RICO, which normally is charged against mob bosses, big criminal mobster organizations, they have to prove that all of these things were part of advancing the Diddy organization. So to make TV shows, he had to have arson. In order to produce records, he had to blow up a car or have freak-offs. I think what the problem here is, oh my gosh, news alert.
He's not
a rock
charged with
star-
producing
a rock
records.
star had
That's
a
not
rock
what he's
star had
charged with. But
drug-fueled
you
party.
said
Nancy?
he's not charged with that. The sky is falling. Actually, he is charged. I'm looking right at it. But I do respect something you just did. When you got busted, you immediately came up with a brand new argument. That takes a lot of skill, Slade.
Is obsessed with size, having the biggest
Tootsie Roll. The size
Tootsie
of
Roll.
a Tootsie Roll. Think about that,
Tootsie
big.
Roll.
Itty bitty ditty. Itty bitty ditty, the Tootsie Roll. Sean Combs' Tootsie Roll. We are live at the courthouse bringing you the latest in the United States versus Sean Combs in a multi-count federal indictment. Joining me, an all-star panel. We are hearing the state laying a foundation. This is why Kid Cudi's testimony is so important. He's not just a pretty face. He's not just a talented musical artist, but he is laying a keystone for the state's sex trafficking and RICO criminal enterprise case. Now, we heard Cudi on the stand talking about the Molotov, right? Blowing up his car. There were other assistants that did Sean Combs' bidding. But what can you tell me about Sean Combs continuing to call Kid Cudi long after he and Ventura had broken up?